I refused to give up a water fountain the previous homeowners abandoned 4 years ago. In September 2021, we bought a house that was built in 2019. We moved in immediately. The previous homeowners left behind a few random items, a rusted wheelbarrow, some mismatched paving stones, and a large concrete water fountain that sat prominently in the front yard. It was heavy, a bit weathered, but it had charm. Within a month of moving in, they contacted us and asked if they could come by to collect the fountain. We said that was fine, then nothing. They never followed up, never scheduled a pickup. Weeks turned into months. Eventually, it just became part of the landscape. Now it's 2025. 4 years have passed. I'm an avid gardener, and over the last 2 years, I've been slowly planning and designing a full garden overhaul. The fountain has become a centerpiece in my design. I haven't started planting yet, but I've been mapping, prepping soil, and learning the rhythm of the seasons. We moved from Florida, where everything grows year-round, so I had to start from scratch. I researched native plants, proper planting windows, and sustainable layouts. But that wasn't the only delay. The house, despite being nearly new, was a disaster. It looked fine at first, but the deeper we went, the worse it got. One exterior wall that bordered the planned garden was bowing. Turns out it was built without proper sheathing and had to be completely rebuilt. That project halted everything. There was no point planting anything when construction crews would be tearing up the yard. By the time the wall was repaired, winter had arrived. We patched what we could and waited for spring. Even now, the roof still needs repairs. Sections of edge flashing are missing. The subfloor inside is uneven. Our floors have gaps big enough to lose quarters in. Screws are popping through every wall. The kitchen backsplash has 4 different types of caulk, all in different colors and textures. The siding is falling off because the fiber cement boards were installed incorrectly, and the studs inside the walls aren't spaced evenly. It's like someone Googled how to build a house and skipped every third step. We had an inspector. He missed everything. And because we bought during the pandemic when interest rates were at their lowest, we're stuck here. Selling isn't an option unless we want to lose everything. So we've accepted that this is a long-haul rebuild. Back to the fountain. This weekend, I had planned to power wash, repair, and repaint it. I even dismantled it and moved it into different parts of the yard to work on each section. Then I caught COVID, so I had to pause. That same weekend, completely out of the blue, the previous homeowner messaged my husband. He said he wanted to pick up the fountain, claimed it was a 35th wedding anniversary gift to his wife, and with their 45th anniversary coming up, he wanted to surprise her by restoring it. He said he'd be by this weekend to collect it. No request, just a heads up. I told my husband to respond that we were no longer willing to give it up. It had been 4 years. He never followed through. We'd given him his chance, and that window closed a long time ago. The previous homeowner replied that I had no right to part with it because it wasn't mine to begin with. He said he'd be coming to get it regardless. That's when I snapped. This fountain has been on our property for 4 years. We've designed a garden around it, moved it, maintained it. Legally, abandoned property becomes the property of the homeowner after 30 days, especially when the original owner makes no effort to reclaim it. He had one opportunity years ago and never followed through. This is the same man who built the house we're now having to rebuild from the inside out. Every shortcut, every corner he cut is something we're now paying for, literally, thousands of dollars in repairs.